Well, good morning, parents. Here we are at a COVID-19 orientation talk. Now, usually we invite parents and their children into the school, and the children have the opportunity to play in our environment, and I talk to you, and this year it's different. As you are aware, your children are now going to have an individual show around the school, and I'm going to film the talk so that you can get the information and watch it at your leisure at home. But I do have to say that this morning I came to school and I realized that I'm wearing exactly the same dress that I wore the last time I did an orientation video. And I just want to reassure you, I do have more than one dress. So, but seriously, you know, we love St. Martin's and we just really identify with the heart and soul of what St. Martin's is. And so I just want to read to you the vision of our school, which says, "We strive to offer a dynamic, relevant and Christian education which prepares young children for lifelong learning." Now for us, education is about lifelong learning. We have the brief to prepare children for grade 1, definitely, and we do that very well. As you are aware, I was involved in helping to write the school readiness syllabus for the education department, and I lecture at Varsity College in the Bachelor of Education Foundation Phase program. So we certainly know what is cooking in grade R education. But for us, we really see our job as being more important than that. And I alluded to that in our creativity talk. Because basically we're wanting to turn children on to the magic of learning. And you can do that as young as they are right now. And you do that through reading stories, through playing games, through engaging with your children in a way which allows them to develop the ability to take in information and recall it and reuse it in different situations. And so that is our privilege and our pleasure. But how do we actually fulfill and build on and make the nuts and bolts of this vision come to life? And so these are our values which inform our vision. And this is what we say. We have 5 values that have been articulated by strategic planning sessions through the years. We have a strategic planning session every couple of years where the governing body and the Parents Association and the staff and any interested parents get together and we revisit the strategy of the school and then plan moving forward. Unless, of course, it's a COVID year when you don't know anything about anything. So our first value that I want to mention is the Christian ethos of our school. As you are aware, this is a school that was started by the St. Martin's Church for our community as a mission outreach to ensure that the Durban North community had access to the best pre-primary education that was possible. And this is the way it is stated. We model, promote, and prayerfully follow the loving way of our Lord Jesus Christ. Then, against that background, we have our value of contemporary education. There's no point whatsoever in educating children in a way that doesn't have relevance and fulfill a need of the age. And so what we do is we have qualified, experienced and dedicated staff who are proactive in offering up-to-date, relevant education. And it's one of the hallmarks of the St. Martin's staff is they constantly keep abreast of what is happening in education trends around the world. And one of the things that we have done at St. Martin's is we actually initiated a teachers association it started, would you believe, with 12 little schools in the Durban North area, and we now have 65 member schools of teachers who come once a term to uplift and engage and just just learn more about our craft and ways in which to offer quality education to the children that we teach. So we want that education to be fun. So it's active, it's fun-filled, and it's all about the learners. So we offer active, fun-filled, age-appropriate learning experiences to enhance the potential of every child. There's no ways a preschool should ever be a place of quiet. It's a place of action, activity, interaction, engagement. I always laugh and I talk to God and I say, God, I know you describe what heaven is going to be like one day, but just don't forget I'm a preschool teacher, because this is filled with life and noise, and it's just the most wonderful place in which to work. So those are the first three of our values. The fourth value is that of having a context of mutual respect. If you think about life at every level, I think the problem is disrespect. That's why life and relationships and the world is in such a mess, because people are disrespectful on some or other level to each other, and there is an incredible misuse or abuse of power. Be it the lady at the till who's being rude when you want to change some grocery, to a government official who is spending too much money on tenders. So what we try to do is we try to inculcate in the children value. We value and promote mutual respect in relationships between the pupils, the teachers, the parents, the church, and the community. And our community doesn't only spread as far as the boundaries of Durban North, we also are involved in a charity in the Bulwer area. It's called the Elm Foundation, and our charity collection goes to that charity each year, as well as 10%. Each year we give away 10% of our fundraising money. So we always give 5% to Bulwer, and then we identify another charity that we want to support for that year. And it might be the NSRI, or it might be Bobby Bear, or any charity. We like to make sure that it is something that has a connection with children, but we want children to learn how to respect and acknowledge and see other people in a loving and tolerant and interactive and engaged way. Our last value is that of interactive, loving environment. The child and the entire family and staff are nurtured through mutual concern, love and care. There are many ways in which we do that. We really believe at St. Martin's that when in doubt, give somebody a hug. And also we like to provide that kind of support to families. And we send home at the beginning of the year, we send home a assistance to school list where we ask you of the ways in which you can serve the school. And one of the ways is where we ask, are you prepared to make a meal for a family in need? So if somebody has a death in their family, or a new baby is born, or somebody ends up in hospital, the class mums will then approach people in their class and say, would you care to offer a meal to this particular family? Just a way of saying, we love you, we care for you, we understand what you're going through. And it's not in a big, kind of a way, but empathy is one of the dying arts. And through enacting care for others, we also help the children to learn and understand how important it is to understand how other people are feeling at any given time. So now I've told you about the values, but I've also alluded to the noise. Well, St. Martin's is just filled with colour and life and activity and fun and learning, and there is nothing more pleasurable for us as teachers to hear children's gurgling laughter, when they gurgle deep in their throats because they're just filled with joy and happiness. And so this is such a joyous, happy place, filled with content. We're not saying we always like that. Everybody has their ups and downs. But generally speaking, this is a place where children just have fun. And that is why in this school, we don't have a program that is overly formal. Believe me, the children learn lots, and you're going to be amazed at how much they do learn. But we teach the children in a way that is age appropriate. So there's not chalk and talk. There's activity and active engagement and using real objects and learning to interpret charts. All of those things that are ways in which the children learn through the concrete as they establish more abstract concepts. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that you need to know before your children come to school. What we're going to do is I'm kind of going through the daily program, just things that I want to alert you to based on what we have experienced in the past, things that advantage your child's ability to settle readily at school. And don't panic, you're not having to remember this all in one fell swoop. We will be giving you a hard copy of this when you come and visit in a couple of days' time. So the first thing to just ask of you is that please keep to the school hours. St. Martin's is not a playgroup. It's an educational institution. And we take our responsibility to teach your children very, very seriously. So it's really important that your child come to school on time and that they come to school every single day. St. Martin's does not offer the option of Monday, Wednesday, Fridays or Tuesday, Thursdays. We have school each and every day. Now everybody arrives between 7:30 and 8. Now what happens is the gate opens at 7:30. I go generally on duty into the courtyard area, and parents come into the school with their children. We're not sure if that is how it's going to be at the beginning of next year. At this stage, we're still going to be doing our COVID staggered drop-off, which is actually working particularly well. And so that might be slightly different. But just so that you know, please bring your children on time at the requested time, particularly if we are keeping to our COVID timetable, because we want to keep the zones separate. We don't want children moving into each other's zones, because then if a child in a particular class or a teacher in a particular class gets COVID, we then want to be able to isolate only that group and not the entire school. So please come at the drop-off times. Also, it's necessary that your child is picked up at the correct time. You don't want your little person to be thinking they've been abandoned because you haven't come to pick them up. But then by the same token, you don't have to kill yourself to be the first person through the gate. I mean, we once had one granddad who his grandchild was so determined to be the first person collected each day. His granddad basically used to swim through all of the collecting parents and grandparents and lift clubs. That's not necessary either. Just to mention, in regular times, the grades double and triple naught, they are collected at 12:15, and the grade R's are collected at 12:30. If you, both parents or whoever the caregiver is in your family situation, if everybody in the family is involved in the world of work, you may choose to bring your child a little bit earlier than the 7:30 drop-off, and we call that the early birds. You're charged a minimum amount for that because we actually have to pay the teachers extra to come to school to do early birds. But please, we're not going to say, oh yes, come the gym bunnies, come into school and pay extra for that. It's only a privilege for those parents who are going to work earlier than our normal drop-off time. One of the things that we do like you to do in the event that there is some lifting arrangement of some or another description, we need for you to please phone the school office. We have WhatsApp groups. The one WhatsApp group is for, well, not one, there are 3 WhatsApp groups, one for each grade. So there's a 000 crayon group, there's a 00 crayon group, there's a grade R crayon group. Those are for messages from the school, and they are of a more formal nature. That WhatsApp group is not to have a big discussion, to and fro, informal kind of discussion. If you need to know stuff, you can ask there, but it's more efficient really to come directly to the office, and we will then answer your queries and then distribute information on those crayon groups. But then there are also WhatsApp groups which the class mums run, and they then, each class, the purple, the yellow, the green, the blue, the red and the orange, each have their own class group, and that is a social group for parents. And with that group, if you need to know something about the school, you're not going to get the information from the class moms or even the other moms, because they might not have all of the information that you require. So rather than ask them, just phone into the office, and these are the areas where we want you to just know that you need to be telling us stuff. So for example, if you have got a play date with your child, you need both parents or both caregivers of those children need to write a note in the notebook. The notebook generally is our fastest and most efficient method of getting messages to and from school. The reason being is that the school office are not on the computer all day long accessing emails and message groups, and also the teachers at school time, outside of COVID times, don't use their phones at all during regular school. And so if you are having a play date, send a message, both parties, in the notebook, or you can phone the school if it's a play date that is organized a little bit later. Don't forget to let your lift club know, because if a lift club comes to pick up your child and they've gone to play for somebody else, you can understand they can get a bit upset about that. And as I've said, don't tell the WhatsApp groups, because the people who need the message won't be getting it. Similarly, if your child is ill, please phone the school, don't send an email, tell your lift club, and don't tell the WhatsApp group. It's necessary for the office to know so that they can pass the message on to the class teacher. If your child is ill, we are not permitted to give medication. And so if your child is on medication, on an antibiotic, your child should be staying at school, rather at home, unless they are on the tail end of their course of antibiotics, and then we can give your child the midday dose. But in order to do that, you have to come and sign an indemnity form giving us permission to do that, and identifying who is to actually give the child the antibiotic. So those are just some of the ways in which you need to communicate with the school. So just a little reminder, look, notebooks, notebooks are the most important way of communicating. Telephone is good. Internet and emails for other things, not those immediate messages, and WhatsApp to learn about stuff via the school or to have social engagement with the other parents about social things, not about the functioning and things relating to the school program, because you won't necessarily get that from the mums class groups. Newsletters are a very important way in which we communicate with you, and we send a number of newsletters a term. There's always one at the very, very beginning of the term, and we just ask that we send a hard copy home in the notebook, because we like for you to sign receipt, because then we know that you actually have received it. And also, if there is a reply slip, please, 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 the office and the teachers just beg you to please reply promptly. There's nothing more disheartening and actually such a waste of time to be begging people to reply on the reply slips, which you will also send to school via the notebook. Everybody can't make every single function or whatever takes place at school, and that's absolutely fine. Don't feel that you are disappointing us. We want you to engage, but sometimes you won't be able to, and just let us know rather than forgetting to do it. If you just try and get into the habit of responding as quickly as possible, I know that the teachers and the office will love you to bits. Similarly, you have contracted through the forms that you have filled in which way you want to pay your school fees. So you are either going to pay by the month or you are going to pay by the term. But we need to receive your fees for that month or for that term within 2 weeks of the start of the month or the term. And the fees must be paid in full by the end of October. Please don't make us beg. We honour and feel real responsibility and accountability to educate your children in the best way that we know how, and we ask that your end of the bargain, which is to pay the school fees, that you do so on time. And we understand if you hit a glitch, if there's a bump in the road, just phone in and say, may I have an extension on this term or this month's payment, and we can make a plan, even to the point of making a payment plan. But the thing is we just don't want to be in the position where you get behind in arrears in your fees, and then we are not able to allow your child entry into the school, which is one of the school rules. And I have to tell you, I'm the big bad wolf who has to deal with that task, and it's dreadful when you have to go up to the top and say, sorry, you can't come in, and your child doesn't understand, and the parent gets embarrassed, and I just feel like the Wicked Witch of the West. So please pay on time. I don't want to be a nag bag, but we do appeal to you to do that responsibly and timelessly. Thank you very much. We know that our target market are, in most cases, parents, the children of parents who work. And so that is the reason why St. Martin's offers both aftercare and holiday care. Now, we allow our aftercare teachers or our holiday care teachers, they're the same staff. They have 1 week off in the July holidays, the first week of the July holidays, and they also are off from mid-December to mid-January. And that's because we don't want them to be the crazy loony people. They need to have a holiday as well, but you can take advantage either on a permanent or a casual basis of sending your child to aftercare. We provide, for those of you who have indicated that you want aftercare, we will provide you with an extra lunchbox, because lunch is not provided. You will send in lunch in a lunchbox, and for that you will be billed. But the school does provide a mid-afternoon snack for those who are staying after 2:30. At the beginning of the year, all things being equal, with COVID over, you would generally receive on your first day your child's school bag, your child's art bag, your child's library bag, lunchbox, notebook. And what you would do, and also the school golf shirt. Did I say school golf shirt? A school golf shirt for summer and a sweatshirt for winter, as well as a school hat. And your child can wear that whenever they choose. Some parents like to have their children have a school kit which they wear each and every day. We don't have a school uniform per se. The only time where the children have to wear their school clothes is when they go on an outing, and that happens when they are in grade R. We also have what we call fun shirts, and they are just t-shirts with the school logo on it. And then the children, and they're in lovely bright colours, orange and turquoise blue and lime green, and then the children can actually wear those as an alternate to their school clothing. And so you, when you come for your visit, everybody will receive the navy blue clothes and the bag and the hat and everything else, but you are given the option of buying the fun t-shirts, and they are 80 Rand each, and you can choose to buy those should you wish to. Just so that you know, all of the school shirts are one size, so for some of the little darlings it will look as if they're wearing a dance dress that sweeps the floor. We've learned our lesson the hard way. We don't have all various sizes, so you'll just need to get granny or auntie or some clever friend who sews to shorten and take in those shirts if need be, but we only do have one size fits all in terms of the school clothes. Now, if you're wondering what on earth I was talking about, the library bag and the art bag, the library bag is we allow the children to take home on alternate weeks either a library book or a puzzle, and then it's swapped the next week so that your child can have the opportunity to read a book from school or do a puzzle from school at home with you. And then also on Thursdays they take home their array of art in their art bag, and so that's the reason why your child will bring home this gorgeous selection of creative work, and we want you to just be, don't say what's that, say tell me about your beautiful picture, because these they truly are magnificent pieces of art, and you will be entranced to see how your child's ability to demonstrate form and function and colour and different art techniques develops through their time at St. Martin's. Also, every single child at St. Martin's has insurance, compulsory insurance, which is then used if, for example, somebody might fall off the jungle gym and bump their chin and need some stitches, and then that claim would be forwarded to the insurance company and you would not have to pay that. So if there would be any accidents at school, you would be able to use that compulsory insurance. Now, while I've been talking about that creativity, please don't send your child in their best dance dress or their fabulous new dad's shirt. I love the way the boys call collared shirts dad's shirts. And I mean, we even have some of them who want to come with a dad's shirt and a tie. We really don't mind them coming, but then when they get paint all over them, that's part of the creative process. So please don't send your children to school in clothes that you don't want to get spoiled. We are completely used to our children looking like waifs and strays, and that's what we want them to be wearing, clothes that they can truly explore explore and discover and create and not be worried and not have a child say, I can't paint, my mummy says I can't get my dress dirty, or no, I can't hammer because I'll hammer my finger and get blood on my shirt. Please understand that part of this process of developing this passion for life and learning is about being creative in the best ways possible. So keep those fancy clothes at home. We don't offer food at St. Martin's. You will be provided with a lunchbox and bills on your school account, as you would be for all of the other provisions that I mentioned, with the exception of the fun t-shirts. Just to say, it's a healthy snack. It's a snack. It's just for your child to enjoy mid-morning, just to keep their energy up. You will send in a lunchbox if your child is going to aftercare, and as I mentioned, in the mid-afternoon we will provide the mid-afternoon snack, but please don't send in too much food. Just a small quantity to as I say, give them that extra energy boost. We don't ask you to provide juice. We have water at the snack and lunch times, or the lunchtime and snack times. And we always, it's so funny when the children say, I only like juice, and we always say, oh, well, water's God's juice. And the thing is that we have a number of water routines. So it's not only at snack time, so the children are well hydrated. They each have a cup in their locker that they use, as well as the cup that they use at snack time. And that is, so there's no need for a water bottle either. One of the biggies about school is we always are looking to have some kind of project on the go. Like, for example, last year we painted the school, or we might replace the jungle gym. It's not going to happen in a while because it was done recently. Some big project on the go that we fundraise for in that year. And so various activities will be offered to parents. You need to know at St. Martin's that you are not going to suddenly get a bill for outings or entertainment. Every single expense is included in your school fees. So if somebody comes to do a show, it's in your school fees. If the children go on an outing where there is a charge, it is included in the school fees. The only monies that you have to pay in addition to that is the money that you wish to contribute to the charity collections and the contribution that you want to make to the fundraising. Now, it might be, we'll say, bring along your friends to a quiz evening, and that money will be gathered for whatever the particular project is of the year. And the project that we are hoping to do next year is we're wanting to replace all the awnings outside of the classrooms. Now, one of the ways in which we get fundraising money is through the Woolworths My School program. And we have sent home with you the My School form. So basically, there are a number of partners with Woolworths. For example, Walton's is one of the partners. There are a couple of travel agents. Various people are Woolworths partners. And then when you go to those partners, you present your My School card, and St. Martin's and the identified beneficiaries get I think it's 2%, it might be 1%, ugh, sorry, I can't remember which, but anyway, we get a percentage of your spend. And so literally for no effort on any of our parts, we get a payment into our account from all of the parents who buy at those partners. And so we just ask if you would really consider becoming a My School partner with the school, identify us as your beneficiary, and granny and grandpa and auntie and uncle and whoever shops, and then it's just a way of adding to the coffers. And often we will use the money that we get from My School to support various people who need our support. For example, a couple of years ago, we had to retrench one of our members of staff. He lived down in the South Coast and he had had a stroke. And just to supplement his pension, his government pension, we used to give him some money from the My School. So we just would ask that you would consider that. And now two more pages and then I'm done. Just to say that at the beginning of the new year, boy, has the school calendar not been like a movable feast. So just so that you know that the grade R classes and the grade double naught classes will start on the 13th of January. Now what happens is all of those children all come on those days. We ask that you, if you are a new parent, that you bring your child 15 minutes after the start of the day, just so the oldies can be settled and then your child can have individual attention from the staff who are all on red alert. With the grade triple naught classes, we stagger the intake over 1 week. So starting from the 13th of January, we take in 5 or 6 children a day for that very reason, so that we can settle together. We can take children on our lap and comfort them if they are anxious. We can take them to the loo, show them where the loo is, show them where their locker is. And I don't think I made it clear that they actually only get their bag of clothing and stuff on that first day, because we've discovered it's a wonderful way of helping the children to settle. Say, look at your bag. So you won't get the school bag and the clothing ahead of time. So just be aware that we will stagger the intake at the beginning of the year. And last but not least, please remember that you must bring all of the forms that you have received, all of the documents that you have been asked for, including a photograph of your child. And it can be, you don't have to dash off to the pharmacy and have an ID photograph. Just find a heads and shoulders shot and cut it down to a ID photograph size. And we need all of that documentation when you come for your show around visit. Your child's enrollment is not considered complete until every document has been received and every document has been signed and completed in full. So please just take that into account. So that's it. This is another dose of St. Martin's in anticipation of next year. We can't wait to spend time with you and your children one-on-one in a short while. And the teachers and I, we all anticipate each new beginning with such joy, because it's such an exciting time. A new beginning is a new start, it's a new adventure, and we can't wait to start our new adventure with you and your child. So thanks for listening to this, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.